Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis, and today we're going to be talking about Casper because listen, I'm still extremely bullish on it. In terms of the market, yes, the market sentiment is fairly bearish. We're going to be discussing Casper's next major price targets where you could essentially enter in if you were looking to buy it, as well as pretty much analyzing some chart data, as well as pretty much talking to you guys about a few tweets as well. So with that being said, sit back, relax, and before we fully jump into this video, I just want to ask if you guys are a Casper holder, definitely leave a like on this video as it does help the video thrive. And also, if you guys are new to the channel, definitely consider subscribing and turning notifications on to never miss an update. Now, like I said, within the market, we're seeing Bitcoin kind of having this massive, not massive, but major pullback. It's a 5.8%, almost a 6% pullback, and we are expecting it to go lower. We're expecting 53K, but it's very bullish for us to actually hit 53K. And the reason why I say that is because the lower that we go here, meaning if we do retest 53K, it's very good for the long-term health of the markets when Bitcoin does jump over 63K yet again. And when we're talking about that, we're also looking at assets like Casper that will make significant gains when that does happen. Now, like I said, most of the market is red. Mostly, a lot of the altcoins are bleeding right now, with a few in the green. And of course, this is going off of the top 100 altcoins, so you're not going to see Casper up here or anything like that. Plus, Casper right now isn't making too many, major gains, but we still see major assets still up about 25% plus, 14%, 8%, stuff like that. Casper was breaking out earlier today. Before I went to bed, actually, it was breaking out. We hit about 18 cents, almost 18.30, right? Trading volume is up 100 and almost 18%. We are sitting at about almost 16 cents, still around, pretty much 16 cents. We're hovering around that point. We'll most likely come down and retest a major support zone. We're going to be talking about that, especially depending on how low Bitcoin could go. Bitcoin dominance still around, 42%. But the chart does look fairly good still. Looks fairly healthy. We're going to be talking about that, and we're going to be addressing that in this video as well. But we are more than ready to have the next major breaking point for Casper. And I think, honestly, in terms of what Bitcoin's doing right now, once we get back to the stage being set for Bitcoin to kind of range to about 70K plus, that's where Casper's really going to start to really break out. So with that being said, before we fully jump in this video, I just want to let you guys know that the Ultimate Crusader Trading Bundle Pack is still on sale, 20% off. I re-upped the sale because a lot of people were asking me about it. A lot of people missed out on it. So if you guys are interested in the Ultimate Crusader Trading Bundle Pack, you guys are more than welcome to go get that on NCashOfficial.com. The sale is only live until this Friday. But with that being said, links are down in the description below and the comments. But I do want to talk to you guys a little bit about what is happening. So I said here, Casper said, what dip? Now, this was talking about last night, and this is where we officially started to pretty much pump out, right? And I don't know why TradingView is a day ahead. Like, this is saying, November 23rd, but it's the 22nd right now. But last night is when we really kind of broke above this point. We found support down at 15.15, and that's pretty much when we started to range. Now, a lot of people were very bullish at this, or I should say on this. I said to you guys specifically what we need to wait for. I said, I'm going to bed, watch for 18.5 cents for Casper. Once this level is broken, we target 24 cents plus. I'll be back tomorrow with the fire, but then again, but until then, good night. And then, of course, I woke up and I told you guys, I reminded you guys that Bitcoin is hitting a sell wall. And, of course, we are waiting for Casper to claim that level still. We have not gotten that yet. And that's why I said Casper is a ticking time bomb, because we are still building for that level. And we will eventually get there. It's just going to take a little bit of time. But, of course, along the way, a lot of people were getting very bullish. Like I said, having a hard time staying up to date with all of the projects that are due to launch on Casper Network. Like I said, there's a lot of things happening behind closed doors that we have not seen get released yet. Taurus Labs is pretty interesting. Non-custodial key management meets passwordless auth. And again, this is pretty interesting. This has not. I think that this has launched. I think that this is actually live. I'm not sure though. But of course, I'm more so excited for Casper Pad and of course friendly markets. And he also thinks 20 more. This is looking real good. And of course, we have a ton of dApps still yet to launch on Casper Network. There's so many projects. I'm very excited for the future of this asset. Like I said in yesterday's video, the ecosystem growth and development has not slowed down one bit. This is also very good for the long-term growth and even the short-term growth as well, because we have a lot of things to still have released and updated. Also, not to mention, we're still not on those major exchanges still. We're on a few, but in the US, it's actually very hard to buy Casper in the US right now. So once that does happen, expect a lot of FOMO to happen. Now we also seen here Casper, nothing to say about this project. One of the most undervalued assets in the whole crypto space. Once it will break out, faces will be melted. Currently up almost 20% for my entry. And of course, in terms of Casper, we already know that it is one of the most undervalued gems in the space. It has a ton of upward momentum still left in the tank. And like I said, yesterday was the clear sign for that. In fact, I'm actually fairly happy with how this is holding up on this drop. I know that we have dropped significantly. In fact, we hit perfect resistance up here, but we're only down about 13.57%. If you go off of the bottom of this, it's like 12.77%. Like I said, it's not doing extremely well opposed to most altcoins. Like, in terms of the 24, the top 100, they're still down like 14%, 10%, 10%, almost like 11% on these. But, in terms of those percentage, drops, it's nothing too significant. I wouldn't be too concerned with it. But we did hit perfect resistance going back all the way to August 8th and August 7th. This is why I always look at the resistance points. You could always sell resistance and buy support. In terms of our support zone that we're pretty much ranging on right now, we don't actually have a lot on the micro or the macro levels. On the micro levels, I'm sure that there's some support here. But it looks like we are bottoming out and getting that support zone pretty much in. Now, will I say that this is not going to go down lower? No, because I still think that we could see a little bit lower, possibly a retest of 15.15 if we do. But we do see back here that our current level that we're at, there's not a lot of support at it. So, for us to have a bottom stage here, it wouldn't make really too much sense. 15.15 would make a lot more sense in my mind, of course. Let's check out the 2-hour span and let's see. So yeah, I mean, again, there's not a lot of support here. Essentially, you could argue the fact that on the 2-hour span, this is support down here. But again, this is at like almost 16 cents exact. We didn't even retest that point. So at our current level, I would say that we have a little bit lower to go. But we don't have to go, too much lower. Like, in fact, I will say this line that I have on the screen right now, this is the point that I want to see us retested to. 15.15, I want this to be held. It will be a double tap of major support, and that will allow us to pretty much retest the resistance point. Now, I will say this. We have only retested that resistance zone once. The more times that we tap this point up here at this 18 and almost and a half centile range, the more and more it becomes weaker and weaker. So once we do retest this multiple times, we will essentially break out of that point, and that will pretty much lead us to the major price moves up to about 24 cents, which I've said multiple times is the next major target. That's what I even said on my Twitter, right? I even said here, once this level is broken, we target 24 cents. That's what I'm essentially watching for. I want to see that pretty much major price movement made. Right now, the reason why the market is so bad is because of the dollar pretty much gaining a lot of traction. If you guys haven't watched the dollar right now, you guys definitely should be watching it because it's almost at like 98, I think. So it's doing some extremely bullish moves, which are fairly bearish for crypto. But I think if we could find support on this resistance zone, that would be extremely good for us. I think that would be very healthy, but I'm more so waiting for a retest at this point. If you guys do want to buy more Casper, you'd look for a retest of possibly 15.15. Now, I will say this. I was watching the Casper Bitcoin chart last night, and it was actually fairly significant to watch because this was a massive engulfing candle. But I also said that this was, going to happen. I said, in terms of, the bull flag that we printed, it was more so ready to do this. And of course, I said this in yesterday's video as well. And it looks like we could essentially be printing yet another bull flag similar to this one, which if we did do that, just so you guys know, and I don't like to use bars graphs as, major TA, but I'm just saying, It wouldn't be surprising to me if we did something like this, where we kind of range here, have this bull flag, and then have that next impulse up, which will also lead the overall chart here to kind of look similar to what we're doing here, except we'd have a break over that 18 centile range and pretty much consolidate or trade upward until 24 cents is broken, and that's where we will get those major impulses that are similar to most altcoins like Solana and stuff like that get those major impulses up. But I also think that we still have a lot of bullish catalyst events to happen before we really get to the major FOMO events, which it will be essentially US-based exchange listings. We also see a lot more, projects to be released yet. A lot of updates still happening. But I will say this, the next major move on the Bitcoin pair, in my mind, is to pretty much retest up here, which if we look here, I don't know what the SAT level is. 1 second. So the SAT level is about 420 over. I think that this is actually, let's check this out. What date is this? August 8th. So this will essentially take us over this point here. So once we break up to this point, Casper's USDT chart, I should say, will pretty much break over this point, which it could even be higher. If the Bitcoin price chart goes to this point, it could be higher because we only got to about 319 sats yesterday, and we pretty much targeted 1836 exact. So with that being said, I think that Casper is probably one of the most strongest assets out there, especially once we do see Bitcoin drop, because I've been seeing a lot of altcoins, like for an example, HBAR drop significantly. It dropped like, I want to say 8 cents or something like that. And compared to Casper, Casper, yeah, sure, it's dropping in price here and there. Like, if we're talking about these highs up here, if anybody did buy them, which I feel bad for you if you did buy them, obviously you're going to feel a little bit rough when it does dip. But, for anybody who did enter when I did mention to you guys about it, obviously you're feeling pretty good right now. But with that being said, I hope that you all enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.